Good morning, everyone. January 26, 2016, and we start off the final auction of 2016 for January. We have the 2, 5, and 7-year auctions this week, and that will put a floor on how far the treasuries can sell, even if the stock market decides to rally back. Crude oil rallied overnight. Kuwait made statements that perhaps OPEC could come to an agreement to support oil prices. There's a lot of countries out there that are past desperate. Looked at Texas's numbers yesterday from the Dallas Fed. They were pretty grim. They suggest depression in the oil patch. And articles were over 30,000 people, engineers, had been laid off in Houston. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of specialty engineers to be put on the sidelines. So the oil industry has lost a lot of great jobs in the United States and worldwide. Hopefully it's about over. It takes 16 to 24 months for crude oil to bottom when it has these busts, and it takes a while for prices to come back. Don't expect a V-bottom. A lot of people are capping crude oil prices in the $55 to $60 range, and a lot of forecasters have 25 to 30 as support right now. And our number 2 level held up last night. So down to the direction of the E-mini, which has been dependent upon crude. Last night's equity markets, the United States Dow was off 200 points. Asia collectively was off 11 1/4. In spite of China's injection of $70 billion into their currency and stock markets. Europe was off 1.83. So it's really going to get down to what the U.S. market does, which usually is the leader for stock market buying, selling around the globe. Today's news: FHFA housing price up 0.5%. Case-Shiller plus 0.7. Service PMI at 53.7. Remember, we have a service economy now. Manufacturing jobs don't count. Yes, they do count. Agricultural jobs count. They all count. Consumer confidence at 96. And Richmond Fed at 3. PMI service and consumer confidence is where the market's focus will be. Crude oil. E-mini, I think, will be the major determinants of what happens today, and will be buffered by the 2-year auction. So 17 to 21 is the first buy. Cut to the chase, right, Chaz? 9 to 13 is buy 2. On the sell side, 28 to the buck, sell 1. 3 to 7. Sell 2. Looking at the 30-year. Spread has actually held in pretty well from yesterday. Again, I think we're in the same situation where we'll find buyers. The first break, 17 to 21, buy 1. Make it 9 to 5, buy 2. Open it up a little bit. Pick up this area right over in here. We're at our London low. On the sell side, 3 to 7. And then 15 to 19. Pick up the top of value. Again, I think 2-year auctions usually pretty good. I don't think the bottom will fall out of the market today, no matter what happens with the stock market and crude oil. And because of the 2-year auction, I like the buy side better than the sell. Okay, gold is higher. Got up to our number 2 sell zone yesterday, 14 to 16, which held. So got resistance 15 to 17. I guess stops above 15, sell 1. 19 to 21, sell 2. On the buy side, the breakout came at 10. Resistance yesterday started at 7, so we'll make 8 to 10. Let them get stops below 10, buy 1. And then 3 to 5, buy 2. And I just, with the retail support out there, I just don't see retail accounts doing anything but buying on weakness. Okay, the yuan sold. China intervened. Intervention did not work. And, you know, I think one of the, if you think about a sentiment shift, you know, things are so bad, the government has to keep supporting the market or the economy. So China's direct intervention had very little impact. London, the high came just before London opened, in the hour before London opened. Frankfurt, Germany, it was sold, and we are pointed lower right now. So I think we're back to 8 1/4. Buy 1. 108 even, buy 2. On the sell side, 50, sell 1. 75, sell 2. Okay, crude. If OPEC is going to cut back and rein in production, Kuwait hinted that they might. Thought that an agreement could be reached. Then price of crude oil could start to stabilize in this $30 area. That 32, 33 is still prime sell territory. Our number 2 buy area was triggered last night at 29 1/4, 20.50. So here we find ourselves at 30.26. So resistance is at 50 to 75. Sell 1. And 31, 31 1/4. Sell 2. Going to have pretty good support at 30. So 75 to 30 is going to be buy 1. And then 29.50, 29 1/4, buy 2. And we'll see if the how far the Kuwait conversation or suggestion that they might be able to support the price of crude goes. One of the toughest things in the world to cut is your standard of living, having been there 3 or 4 times myself. Think about people that have never had to cut back on anything. And since the 70s, the OPEC members have been able to live pretty darn large when you get right down to it. And because they only have one product, crude oil, and their economies, generally speaking, are not diversified, they got a real problem on their hands. And Saudi Arabia especially. They've created a welfare state where most degrees granted in that country are based on religious studies. And out of the Middle East, there's not much of a market for religious studies on the Quran. So here we sit. Okay, the E-mini. Yesterday's selling was tied to weakness in crude. The overnight rally is tied to strength in crude. So we'll see what we've got. We had a pretty clean spill from 80. We're at 72. Last rotate up stopped at 77. So 77 to 81 is going to be sell 1. 85 to 90 will be sell 2. On the buy side, probably pretty good support in that 60 area, so 55 to 60 buy 1. The aggressive buy would be at 67. And it may take that to get in. They have made us pay up forever to buy into this market. And then 45 to 50 will be buy 2. So I think the battle's fought at 75 to 80. If we can't get to 80, this market can sell. Don't think today's news has much impact on the market. It's not market moving type of news. Have to see how it plays out. So FHFA price up 0.5%. Case Shiller plus 0.7. Service PMI 53.7. Consumer confidence at 96. And Richmond Fed at 3. Consumer confidence and service PMI will be the market's focus. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I am going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible.